Alright, so welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super card game video. This one, we realized that there's only a few days away from the new expansion set on May 17th. As of this recording, it's probably like 5 days away, but 4 days from when you're actually watching it. And this one includes the new block, which includes the multicolored sets, or the multicolored cards. What I'm going to do is going to go ahead and go through the explanation, basically a basic breakdown if you haven't been caught up already by the new big announcement as far as the video here. It does give a pretty good example, or at least a good breakdown, like a basic breakdown of how it works. And I just want to kind of reiterate in my own words what it means as far as to be a multicolored card, what the new keywords are, and what you can kind of do with it, and what I'm building so far. But if you are already building things on Untap or Octagon, wherever you want to do it, right? Even on Tabletop Simulator. Do you guys want to see that? I can play that. I can make a video on that. Let me know in the comments below what you are making. Like, dislike, and subscribe if you're new. I know a lot of you don't have notifications based on analytics. Please turn those on. Anyway, one of the first expansions, you can find it here in the DBS card game website. It's an expansion set, and then 5 and 4. This is the 5th one, which, I mean, technically, I guess it is the 5th one going in order for these. They just started naming them instead of just calling Unity Destruction, Unity Saiyans. This one features the blue-yellow variants, which has the Janemba Lighthearted Destroyer, the Bojack, the other Janemba, and as well as the other Bojack. They all kind of go together. I don't know if they sort of sit well with existing archetypes, but the colors itself, as a color and as they kind of go together, as in blue and yellow, are very defensive, and that's kind of like the whole idea, the whole thing as far as this goes. I'm going to touch on it very lightly. You know, I'm going to miss a few things, or at least different opportunities, but I'm kind of giving an idea of where these cards should be going and what you should be doing with them. And of course, the other side, the Unity of Saiyans. Yeah, Unity of Saiyans. Look at that. What a name that is. It features the new Super Saiyan Gogeta, Acrobatic Warrior. What a name that is. Very interesting effects and very interesting in general as far as the card goes. Of course, the new 4-drop Broly, which means it does have pretty good synergy with the existing Broly line, and as well as a few other things like Kind Wish. I will go over that in a second. And of course, the other two red-green cards, which has the new Arrival tag, and as well as just the EX Evolve on top of a 4-cost Broly with the Alliance slash I guess, yeah, just Alliance. I guess is just Alliance in general. But if anything, let's kind of take a look at what they do. Okay, so at first glance, most of these things just kind of work with each other, right? So if you're looking at these two, the new Bojack really actually does really well in both Bojack and as well as Janemba. I probably will be coming out with a Janemba profile, showcasing that, and as well as my take on it. It's not the best, but it gives you a good sort of idea of how it should be built, or at least what I think it should be built. But for this guy, he's a counterattack card, and during your opponent's turn, if you have a card that is blue and yellow in your energy, reduce this card in your hand by 2, which effectively becomes a 1-drop. And then when you play this card, they mill 1. So technically, way back when I was joking around with noms, we always thought it was just kind of hilarious if we ever had a 1-drop that mills. Now we do. So the only way that you actually do get this, just to make sure that you do understand, is that during your opponent's turn, of course, when you play it on your turn, it has to be a 3-cost. There's no other way to reduce it unless there's another effect that does that. And as well as have a blue and yellow card. So the only two cards that we have right now are these two. So you have to have one of these charged in your energy area in order to actually use it. And I'll kind of get to that a little bit later as far as why that's important to do it first as well. But for this guy, he's a blocker, a rival, in which I didn't even mention the new keyword, but this is the new keyword. You pay 1 yellow, and then you have to have blue and yellow cards in your combo area. So a few things like the Janemba profile that I have, obviously Whis and Borgos are very popular cards. I play Whis in it, and as well as this card, and I think Borgos is one of those. Let's just say you play Borgos and you play this as well. If you charge this turn 1, and then the next turn you use this negate, and in the same turn or whatever, the second turn you play Borgos and use this as a negate on their turn, right? you get to go ahead and combo this, and if you have an open energy and use that yellow, which Senzu Bean can untap that, you can go ahead and use Arrival and combo these two to defend, or it's either or. So you can use it on their turn and you can use it on your turn as long as you meet those requirements. It's the same thing with all these new multicolored cards. So again, this also has energy exhaust, so when you charge it, it has to be charged in rest mode. It's very similar to what Magic and a couple other games, right? And then the auto says if you play this card, when you play this card, you choose up to one of their opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode, and then they mill one. So in both the, I guess any defensive deck that does play yellow, and as well as blue, I guess, but if they do play that, this is a 1-cost blocker for that does 20k, and you get to rest one card and basically block the other. So you get to stop 2 attacks if they have 2 battle cards on their board and they're swinging with their leader. So that's kind of the play there. That's kind of the thing that is the most basic thing to kind of understand. And I'm sure that some people are going to be asking like, hey, how does this fare against the meta? I don't know. I think Janemba is probably going to be the most playable one. The most playable one, and as well as the red-green stuff with Chi-Lai is really good. Eggman just made a deck profile about a week ago or so. I don't remember, but if you check out his is pretty solid. Mine is a little bit different as far as kind of spamming out 4-drops. So I'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe I'll put that up. I'm not sure. Either way, neither here nor there. As far as the meta and as well as the format goes, it's kind of all over the place. Everybody is all over the place right now, and these cards are just new, and they introduce some new stuff. So I would say explore with them and build it as the best as you can. Anyway, so this guy, he has Aegis, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, and which is if you have blue-yellow, or you place blue-yellow cards from your hand into the drop area that match the Aegis. So this one I believe is the only one that has actually Aegis in it. So if you pitch one of these, basically, if I got this right, or one of these and one of these, as in blue-yellow cards, you get to activate Aegis, which means you can untap 2 energy from that. This guy has Barrier, which is cool, and he's a 20k, and he is a 4-drop Janemba, which has synergy across from the Childless Heart Janemba that you pay 1 and you get to put that guy out there. It has synergy against this guy, which, you know, obviously you get to pay 2 and then pay 1 blue energy, and it says you can pay an Agent of Destruction that's blue and yellow from your deck. Notice that it is blue and yellow, so just make sure that that's pretty much the only target for it, and then play it in rest mode and shuffle your deck, and then place this card at the bottom of the drop area, or the owner's deck. So you basically swing with this guy, you pay 1, and you get this guy in rest mode. The guy has Barrier, he's not going to go away unless, you know, someone plays something that removes Barrier. And then the other part of it is that you get to untap 2 energy afterwards, after you basically pitch a multicolored card or 2 cards that are blue and yellow. So I think the balance part of it is very good. I don't know if I agree with playing this in any Janemba deck or just in general to actually play this card. I think playing it for 4 and then untapping 2 for it and then leaving the rest for of where this guy would be might be a little bit better for the deck, but that's just me. And then another part of it is that as soon as it activates Aegis, when you untap 2 during your opponent's turn, you get to place 1 card from the top of the deck. So I think just in general, defense and as well as just untapping energy, it's like a Shenron, like Figure of Majesty, the 4-drop on their turn that you can activate, but you have to pay a cost, and mill 1. So like, you know, you have that guaranteed mill as long as you pay that cost, and it's not that bad. You know, I don't think it's that bad, and 20k is a really good number in my opinion to try to KO something and attack it. That's just my experience, just one of those things. Now the red and green lineup is really cool. You only have 1 Gogeta in your battle area, and that's because of the alliance effect. But when you play a battle card that is red and green in your that has an energy cost of 5 in your battle area, you get to play this from your hand for free. And then when you switch with alliance or rest mode alliance, you deal 1 damage to your opponent. And this is why you can only play 1 in your battle area. Not only because you can do multiple red green cards like this guy, which you only play one red, but also because if you have multiple guys of this or multiple Gogetas, basically you get to switch at least 2 cards with the Broly effect and then do 2 damage. I don't really agree with that balance, but I guess that's just a good thing as far as what they're thinking of. I don't think it's too big of a deal. If you have the cards in your hand and you're able to do it, I feel like you should be able to do it. But neither here nor there. I think this is a really good card for what it's worth. And as soon as you play this guy or this guy, either with the Arrival or on top of a 4-drop like this, and pay the costs, you get to play it and then switch to Reliance. So obviously it's good to have a 15k attacker if you play this guy. Like if you have both of these guys in hand and it's their turn, what you can do with this card is a 5k 20k or 5 cost 20k, and it's a double striker in which you pay one green or one red, and then you have to combo, or before then you have to combo a red and green card in your combo area. So you can have like 5ks, you can have a multicolored card like this guy, and then combo it, and then to pay one red, and then you get to play it from your hand, KO something, etc. Right? So again, KO's 4 or less, and you can't play the rest duration in turn. As soon as you play it on their turn, you can always play SS Gogeta. This is why this is pretty good in Pan, because both will get the boost either on either turn, and you only have to pay 1 energy as long as you have those red and green requirements. So I am working on that. I'll show you in a second, or at least give you. I kind of spoiled it. Oh well. And then the 4-drop Broly, in which you play this card. If you have a card that's red and green in your energy area, draw 1, and then your opponent chooses 1 card from your hand and drop one into the drop area. So you draw 1, they neg 1, and then of course when you play one or play this card, you get to KO one of the battle cards. So in essence, this is a extremely good card for any Broly deck. Like I think it's a really good card if you need any kind of removal. Obviously, it doesn't gel well with the Broly chain. I don't think it's the best card for the starter deck Broly, but for Paragus and as well as Chilai, this is a really good card. Like, just because you get that draw, you get a neg 1 from their hand, and you get a KO, and there's no limit as far as this goes. So again, my Chilai deck, or at least the concept behind it, is to play as many 1-drops as you can, and then trigger off their ability and to play this for free, and then also not take life for it. And you can just do that over and over again. You draw 1, you get 1, etc., etc. Not only that, is that I'm working on a Pan deck in which, because this is a 15k and it is also a green card, it goes well with the red and green, and as well as the stuff I mentioned before. And also he's a chain attack target, so I think there's a lot of good stuff here as long as you're playing the other red and green stuff. Not only that, is that the full power Broly is a really good finisher as long as they don't have a negate, in which you evolve this guy for 2 green and 1 red. And notice, when talking about paying energy, you can pay this energy. Let's say if you have both, or both of these, which I don't know why we would, but this all pretty much counts for red or blue, and or red or okay, blue or yellow here, and as well as red and green here. So unless I'm mistaken, which I don't think I am, because when you pay in the video, you can see that they paid this guy or the other guy for this cost as far as the red and green. It counts as that. So if we, okay, it's just gonna break here. Look at this, folks. Thanks, Antap. In which you can pay either a Flying Nimbus for the Janemba or a Senzu Bean for the Janemba, and as well as a full power energy for Broly, or a is that all you got for the Broly, right? That's kind of how that's the concept between the multicolored energies. And yes, I will get back to the Broly, but this also stems to making sure to mulligan or hard mulligan from one of these cards if you're playing a multicolored deck, because you have to charge. Well, I don't think you have to, but it is extremely imperative that you do charge on the first turn. 1, you're not gonna die the first turn. I hope not. It's not Mecha Freeze anymore. And 2, all of these effects require a blue or yellow or a red and green, and you want to have that active as soon as you can early into the game, rather than later, because later you either have dead cards that don't have the effects anymore, or it's just not going to be great, because these guys are all 1-cost combos, and it's just not fun to combo them out or not be able to use the effects that you want to. But when you do have these active, and it's really cool, because 1, if you're playing blue and yellow or just blue in general, like Tricolored or something, you can untap with Senzu Bean, you can untap with the leader, you can untap with Unyielding, you can untap with Aegis, you can untap with whatever you want. And even in a Shenron deck with Explorer Bulma, which I know it's very okay, that's fine, it's very picky right now, or Preface, these things still happen, they still work. So if you Preface out, or Child's Wizard's Preface, or Explorer Bulma, you can untap both of these and have those energy available to you. So I think that those are very, very cool things to kind of know and kind of realize when it comes to deck design and building. Anyway, so the Broly. He has Reliance, in which if you choose one or more green or red battle cards in your battle area and switch them to rest mode, it gains the power equal to those cards switched to rest mode by this skill, and it gains triple strike. And also, if you evolve it, you can't be KO'd, so it's pretty sweet. You can't get Shigesuke Goku if that's ever the cause for it. But if you have this guy, you get to deal 1 damage, and then any other card, if you play 1-drops all over, it's just like comboing with them, but at the same time, you just get that power boost just in this eye. So I don't know if that's even going to be worth it. However, I think in the right circumstances, it's going to be pretty useful. Now, before I go through anything else, we do have these 2 cards. So this Broly is amazing, and this Goku Black is actually amazing too. When you play this card, oh, by the way, so these are all expansion sets, so you can buy these expansions, etc., right? But these are only these are the promos that you can only get in the sealed expansion tournaments. So if you look on the DBS card game website, there is a event for the sealed tournament, I do believe. I'm not sure if they opened that up or at least put that to the public just yet, but I would take a look at that. But these are the prizes for that, and the foil, I want to say, goes to the first or second place. So that's something to kind of think of as far as like collector bases, and as well as if you care about the secondary market, these are probably going to be a little bit expensive in the future. Anyway, so this is a 2-drop, 2 green. So remember that it's 2 green, 2 blue. So when you play this card and you get to activate the skill at the end of the turn, there's a card that's both red and green in your energy area. Draw 2 cards, choose 1 card and to the drop. Wow. Choose 1 card and place it in the drop area, and then choose any number of the cards in total of 3 or less and KO them on their field. This does the same thing. It's just that you draw 2, you choose 1 card from the hand and drop it in the drop area, and then you choose 1 blue or yellow energy and switch it to active mode. So this guy taps 1, so effectively you get a draw 1 or draw 2, untap 1 and cost 1, right, at the end of the turn, and then this guy gets to remove and as well as draw 2 cards. So I think these are very, very good cards, and this is even more imperative that you do charge 1 of these multicolored cards early on, and then you get to play 1 of these cards, because again, if you have this guy, it counts as a red and green, and then if you charge a green right after that, you do have red and a green, which counts for that red and green, well, that green specified cost. That's why it's a 2 cost. That's why it has this kind of effect. Yeah, it's pretty good later into the game, but early in the game you want to remove 3 costs, and you want to go ahead and untap 1 for that quick defense. Now this kind of leads me to leaders. So if we take a look at all the leaders here, there's a few things that kind of go with them all together. I already mentioned Chilai and as well as Paragus. Paragus is pretty cool because you get to take 1 life, and then you get to play the 1-drop that you don't have to take a life for that, or if you do, you can choose that if you'd like. Makes it for really good plays, and then after that you can play either the Broly line or as well as things to remove the field like Wrathful Charge, Broly Mechanism, etc., and then get this guy out for free, and then continue to do that. But again, it's really important that you do charge these guys first and then go ahead and do that. Chilai is amazing because not only that you have, let's see, a kind wish, in which again, if you lead a card as a green Frieza's army, doesn't have to be a wish leader, but it's easy because it is a desire. You get to choose all of their cards, the bonus battle cards in Ignoring Barrier, place them in the bottom, and then choose one Broly card, energy cost of 4 in your deck and play it. That does include this guy, in which you can involve this guy on top of that. By the time you do have 4 energy, you'll probably have this guy active. Would you play yellow for Bad Ring and a Cold Bloodlust? Maybe. I mean, if you do have this guy charged early on, and then you charge yellow for the rest of the game, or charge green for the rest of the game, whatever it may be, it can work, you know, as a tri-colored deck. But, you know, I only mentioned that for Bad Ring, for this guy's triple strike, and as well as his buffed out nature. Either way, this is a really good play. Try that out. Tragic Awakening can get this man out because it is a Broly, or let's put it this way. If your leader card is a green Frieza's army card, you choose one of your energy, place it in drop area, and choose one Broly with energy cost of 6 or less from your drop area and play it. That means you can play this guy, and this also means this guy works as well, in which you can get a Broly from your drop, or you can get a 6 or less from your deck and add it to your hand. This can include this guy, this can include this guy. So there's a lot of different options as far as the red and green, for both of these guys, but I took it a little bit different and played it in pan because of all of the triggers in which this guy gets the 5k and draw, either on either turn. This guy gets a 5k and draw, and also a chain attack target. This guy is just good in general if you get to play him for free. Then you get to choose him, and now he's a 20k attacker in which you get a draw from, etc, etc. It's pretty good. And on the blue side, Goku Black might be pretty good. I haven't really experimented with it, but the nature of all of this, in which you get to choose a card from your energy area, place it in a drop area, and then ramp up a little bit more. And if you have 2 or more blue energy, which I will have to confirm, if someone confirm in the comments below if it has to be blue energy or it has to be referred to only blue energy. So blue energy includes this being blue yellow. Blue is still in the word, so blue yellow still counts, right? But some rulings have found that it has to be specified blue, as in only blue. So that would be interesting to see. Hurrigan, because he is very defensive and very good at what he does in draw power. I don't think he should be counted out as far as this stuff goes. Maybe not maybe the Gemini, I don't know, but definitely the Bojack stuff. It could be a pretty good defensive build. But in general, I would highly recommend to try out Denemba with the blue-yellow. He was pretty good with blue-yellow before, but now that he has support in milling 1 for both of these guys, and then having an Aegis guy and this guy, as far as the good amount, I think he's pretty good. Now, that kind of settles all of the stuff that I kind of wanted to go over. There's so much more to go over. I will probably go over that in the decks in the future. I'll probably have a couple decks this week just before the release, so that way you can kind of test some stuff out. Maybe I can give you some ideas, etc. If you have any in the comments below, let me know. In general, just remember, again, charge this turn 1, so that way you don't have to worry about it later. Make sure that you read these cards to the fullest, and try to be creative with this stuff. I think in the current format it is a little bit annoying, but that is just how it is sometimes, and that's just how formats go sometimes. But we will get through it. Also, this guy is awesome. I know some people are like, why would you do it? But if you play this guy and you have like a chain attack, you have 2 energy, and you're not awakened, you can play this guy for 2, get the draw, swing with the intensifying power, swing with this guy, evolve on top of this intensifying power, Zeno, and then this guy's auto will proc off after. So you can awaken, untap 2, play another card and draw 2. If you can do that, like a Time Patrol Trunks or something, and then draw two more cards and remove a 3k in case they play like a 1-drop counter or something. I forgot to mention that. It's one of the plays that I talk about. I will talk about in the deck profile. That is it. Like, dislike, all that other stuff. I will see you in the next one. Later.